Welcome back to the Football Tragics. We're going to get straight into it. It's match week 30 of 38 of the English Premier League. We're going to start off with Manchester United 2, Everton 0. Quite a few scoreless teams this week. Everton starting us off. This game, I'm just going to pull up the stats here to start us off. United absolutely dominated them. Start to finish, Everton with no match for them. The only thing for me that's a little worrying for United fans now, and is confirmed this morning, Marcus Rashford injured for a few weeks. Will miss the Europa League tie tomorrow. Will miss a few games. They should be okay without him, although that is where a lot of their goals have been coming from. Not in this game, however. Scott McTominay, he's been on fire since the international break. He got 4 in the international break. Got a goal here. Anthony Martial, back from injury, gets a goal after a Marcus Rashford assist. This was perfect for United. They needed to bounce back after a couple here and there average results. Now they got 2 wins in a row again, and they are back in a 4th spot. They've solidified their spot on the ladder. I think top 4 should well and truly be theirs. But Everton, on the other hand, want to flip it that way. They're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. They're still only away from away from the relegation zone on goal difference. So tricky end of the season for them. But look, United kind of back into their groove a little bit now. Everton worrying. So that's where the first game started us off. We're going to get into Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 0 this time. Another scoreless team here. Ollie Watkins cannot stop scoring. I think that's his 8th or something in a row. He's got a fair few this season. He's been on fire since Unai Emery came in. And again, Villa are absolutely flying this season. Ever since Unai Emery came in and Steven Gerrard went, they are up to 6th now. What a season they are having. They've won 4 in a row. They've lost 1 of their last 13 or something ridiculous. They are just flying not under the radar anymore because they're overachieving at this point. Unai Emery has done a serious job on Villa, and who knows? They're only 6 points away from a European spot at this stage. Could it happen? Well and truly could. They've jumped the likes of Brighton. They've obviously jumped Liverpool. They've jumped Chelsea. They've jumped Brentford. They've jumped all these teams, and they're sitting in 6th spot. They're cruising right now. And, depending on how their season running goes, they could well and truly be finding themselves in European football. That is huge, considering the way that Steven Gerrard left them to start the season. Nottingham Forest now, on the other hand, it looks like they're going to be heading down. I don't think they'll have enough to stay up, unfortunately, for their sake. They've spent a lot of money, signed a lot of players, and it looks like they'll be going home empty-handed and heading back to the Championship. And I can't see them coming back anytime soon. So, look, again, there's still 8 games for pretty much every team to go. It's a lot of games, a lot of points still up for grabs. But if there's any team that just doesn't look likely, I'd say Nottingham Forest are one of them. So we'll see what happens there, but the running doesn't look too kind for them, in my opinion. Now, Brentford 1, Newcastle 2. This game had it all. Ivan Toney misses a penalty for the first time. He scored one, but yes, he missed one. And this one, Newcastle really dug deep for this result. And again, they're back now, aren't they? They had a tricky little period there, but now they've won 5 in a row. They're back up to 3rd spot. They are absolutely on fire this season. And Champions League football, I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought they were going to slowly slip away, but Champions League football is heading to St James Park. There's got to be no doubt about that now. The way they are playing, the way they are scoring goals and winning games and grinding out results is so impressive. I didn't think they were going to get 4th, let alone they're probably going to get 3rd now. They're only on 3rd on goal difference, of course, ahead of United, but their goal difference is much superior, far superior, and they look brilliant. Brentford, on the other hand, they're going through a tough little period now, 2 draws into 2 losses, so they need to fix it up because, again, a top half finish for them would be very good, be a very sweet season, but they're finding themselves starting to slip down the ranks now. They're gonna have to fix it up because it's turning from a great season into just an okay season in the end, in my opinion. And that's kind of the way I think that it's going for Fulham here as well. Slipping down. They've now lost 4 in a row. And again, they were flying up as high as 6th, I think, at one point. Now they're sitting in 10th. Again, a great season, but the four losses in a row now. What does that mean? Where do they finish now? Do they slip further and further and further down the ranks? End up finishing as far down as 13th, 14th. I think they should be okay because of the likes of those teams below them. The likes of Chelsea, really the only ones really threatening them, and even then, they're obviously not. But look, in this game itself, a massive win for West Ham, much needed. West Ham, obviously, a team that is threatened of going down as well. There's that relegation zone right now, that relegation dogfight. There's countless teams. I think it's 13th, 14th, 12th even onwards. I mean, who knows? Chelsea could find themselves slipping there as well. Hopefully, for my sake, not. But yeah, a massive, massive win for West Ham here. And now again, another massive win for Wolves over my boys Chelsea. And the big talking point here was this is Lampard's first game in charge of Chelsea again, his second stint. And nothing changed. It looked the same old Chelsea this season, and I'm yawning because it was that boring. The football we are playing is boring. And again in the Champions League this morning, just stale. Nobody wants to be out on the pitch. I mean, I'm god tired, and I'm more tired of watching Chelsea play. That's what's killing me this season. I mean, it's been really a season to forget. We're sitting in 11th right now, and it's obviously not going to get any better. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better. Who knows? Do we find ourselves in a relegation fight? So we're only 9 points, 12 points clear. Who knows? Our running pretty difficult. So we'll see. Wolves, massive, massive win for them. They they deserved it, but God, it's just awful to watch from a Chelsea point of view. It's just stale. Nobody wants to be out there. I can't stop yawning because it's just boring. It's putting me to sleep, Chelsea, right now, unfortunately. Let's get into the controversial game, I suppose, of the round. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. Brighton Stonewall penalty denied, and an offside goal, I believe. I didn't get a chance to catch this game myself, but, reading up on it doesn't look as though Tottenham deserved the result here. It looked as though Brighton were the superior team, and they've gone home empty-handed, unfortunately for their sake. Because, again, a team that is doing very well this year, they're in 7th, could have got us, this result here, had they've got something, would have put them as high as 6th, with a couple... games in hand. God, I can't stop yawning. I'm still thinking about Chelsea. But yeah, Spurs, it's a much-needed result on their behalf because they're sitting in 5th, but only hanging by a thread. And again, Conte's gone now, so they need to grind out results and make sure they seal that 5th spot. Otherwise, they find themselves slipping 6th, possibly 7th, and then it becomes just like Liverpool, just like Chelsea, where it's a very, very bad season. You're out of Europe and not much to play for next year moving forward. You're not going to be attract players. But Brighton, I still fancy them to turn it around, get a few more results, and possibly, again, really challenge Villa for that Conference League spot. And who knows, even that Europa League spot. We'll wait to see the results there. Again, a scoreless team here, Leicester. And Brendan Rodgers is gone. Bournemouth 1-0 win. Massive, massive win for them. Again, much needed, and it puts them out of the relegation zone. Just 2 points clear now, but Leicester fall in, Bournemouth get out. And again, like this relegation zone battle, whatever you want to call it, is just on fire. Can't wait to see the running. There's 8 games to go. No team looks like they want to win. No team looks like they want to lose. I don't know what to say. There's 6 or 7 teams fighting out for, not fighting out for 3 spots. Nobody wants to go down. So Leicester in the drop zone at the minute. I'm just kind of flying through a lot of these games now because I didn't get a chance to catch a few of them. But yeah, Leicester, something's going to change because they've just appointed. Just appointed Dean Smith at the helm. John Terry at his side. Does that fix them? Does that stop them from going down? I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how that one pans out. Now, a team that looks all but certain, though, to go down, Southampton. 4-1 loss to Manchester City at home. I mean, you can't blame them. Man City are absolutely flying at the minute. Have won however many in a row. They're chasing Arsenal. They're right on their necks, on their tail. But Southampton here just look like they're just rolling over and quitting. If any team's going to go down, it's them. I mean, there's 5 points away from the drop, if my maths is correct. They'll be relegated soon enough, I think, unfortunately, for their sake, because I can't see it getting any easier or any better for them. They'll be the first team gone. And then who knows what happens there moving forward. Does Ward-Prowse stay? Those, the likes of him and the others that can probably go for some decent money will probably get taken and sign for bigger clubs, because Southampton, all but certain to go down. City, though, much needed result. Again, they just got to keep chipping away at Arsenal and keep picking up their results and making sure that they get their job done and hope that Arsenal slip up. And, well, they did, which we'll get into, but not before we get into Palace absolutely tearing Leeds apart. Shocking result. Shocking scoreline, really, because Leeds went up 1-0. And then you fast forward to 45th minute, just before the break. Leeds would have liked to go in at 1-0. They don't. They go in 1-1. And then second half, what's happened to Roy Hodgson's team? Because he's absolutely torn Leeds apart. Whatever he said in the halftime, in the change rooms at halftime, I don't know. But boy, oh boy, did he turn the boys up, that's for sure. They went out and scored 4 goals in the second half, and they've scored 7 in 2 games under him, compared to Patrick Vieira's, where it took about 15, 16 games to score about the same amount. So, again, 2 wins in a row under Roy Hodgson for Palace. And, yes, they've got a very favourable draw, but you can only win the games in front of you. And, God, who knows how far they can climb under him if they keep winning these last few games. They're probably past Chelsea. They'll probably end up finishing maybe just around the top half if they're lucky, if not finishing in 11th spot, and just kind of making sure that they're in the Premier League for another season, which would be perfect for them moving forward. Leeds, however, I don't know where to go for them, because, again, they're just out of the relegation zone, but it's not looking good for them, not playing great football. So we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out again. And then let's get into the final game. Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. It took until, the 86th minute, I believe, 87th minute. Roberto Firmino rescues a point for Liverpool. Anybody who's not an Arsenal fan is absolutely jumping for joy, because it just means the title race just continues that week longer. Arsenal have not quite got it done. And a poor Liverpool side, let's get that straight. A poor Liverpool side this season rescue a point in the dying stages against Arsenal after Salah missed a penalty not too much earlier. Arsenal came out of the gates firing. They scored an early goal. Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus makes it 2-0. And then that goal right before halftime for Liverpool was crucial, was huge on their behalf. And second half, it was just Liverpool throwing the kitchen sink at Arsenal, attack after attack after attack. And in the end, a fair result. It would have been sad to see Liverpool go home here empty-handed, because they did deserve at least a point from this game. And again, being a Chelsea fan, don't want to see Arsenal in the league. So thank God for that. It now means that Arsenal are just 6 points clear, with City having a game in hand, and the 2 teams have to play each other. Could we see City jump them? Only time will tell. But Arsenal will be kicking themselves they didn't hold on for a win here, because they could have won this game, and in the end they could have lost it. So maybe it ends up being a point gained, but yeah, it's making this title race interesting. Liverpool, however, look, it doesn't really do much for their season. They're still kind of kicking just a bit behind Brighton, Villa, and those lots. So not a great result, I think, for either team. Either team might have approached this and thought, yes, we can win this game, but Arsenal will be the hard done by here. I think they'll feel like they could have got more from this game. That's where we're going to end up for this round. Keen to go through, get a couple of the other boys hopefully on next week, and we'll go from there again. So again, thanks for joining me.